What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? It's Wayne here, coming to you live from WGAS NOLA in the Emerald Highland Production Studios. And we're going to talk about wrestling today. As you can see, on episode 52 of the Breakdown Podcast, we went over at length what our favorite things about the WWE were this year in its current state. Well, we're going to give you our list of the best wrestlers in the WWE right now. And if you want to listen to that full discussion, you can go and listen to podcast episode 52 and get the full breakdown me and Paul do about what I'm about to tell you. We go into length. So if you want to hear the full discussion, go download that episode, like, subscribe, give us a rating. You can get it on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher Radio. We're trying to get it up on some other places. But let's get into the video right now. Who were our favorite wrestlers this year? First off, let's start with the female wrestlers. There isn't a lot going on in the main roster, at least there wasn't in the beginning of the year until the brand split and we got some people that came up and things happened. Number 2 coming in, female wrestlers, is going to be Bayley because she's a real wrestler. She's a legit wrestler. I know there's quite a few other legit wrestlers on the roster now, which I love the fact that we're getting female wrestlers who are getting like legit work. We're not getting fashion models and fitness models and people who never really wanted to be professional wrestlers. So Bayley, in my opinion, is a breath of fresh air. She is a homegrown female professional wrestler, and she is so over with the crowd, is ridiculous. Coming in number 1, our favorite female wrestlers this year was Asuka. I guess you would think we would go with someone more along the lines of Charlotte or Sasha Banks. But I think Asuka coming in from, Japan and not really being familiar with an American crowd has gotten over tremendously with the American crowd. I have seen her at a live event at NXT New Orleans, and she was so over. The crowd went nuts when she came out. You would think they were cheering for an established male superstar, but no. This crowd was 100% behind Asuka. She straddles that line at this point of she's not a heel, she's not a face. People just love her no matter how she actually acts. She'll do heel things, she'll beat the living hell out of somebody, but she still gets cheered because she is such a great performer. Now, we're going to talk about tag teams, and tag team divisions in the main rosters are kind of horrible at the moment. Right now, as of recording this video, American Alpha is the champions on SmackDown. Sheamus and Cesaro are the champions on Raw. Number 2, The Revival. The Revival has been in almost every single match of the year. These two teams could be swapped out for 1-1. It's more or less a tie. But The Revival is a very old school, reminiscent of the Steiner brothers. They're a very old school wrestling tag team. I cannot wait till they make their main roster debut. They are going to dominate, and I hope they go to SmackDown, because SmackDown is really where the tag team wrestling needs to be, because they really need to flesh out their roster. SmackDown's roster has a very shallow depth of talent to pull from for their titles, and I cannot wait for the Revival to show up. With that said, the other tag team that we can be talking about is DIY. They have put on some of the best matches with the Revival this year. They are, if you go and listen to the podcast, we talk about the Revival could have been in like 7 of the best matches of the year, and it would not have been a far stretch. DIY was in half of those with the Revival, but DIY, Johnny Gargano and Ciampa put on some spectacular singles matches between one another this year. So I love the fact that they're NXT Tag Team Champions. Eventually they will make it to the main roster, and it will be great. But I hope they hold on to those NXT titles and they elevate that tag team title division in NXT up to a higher position than it is now, because NXT has been rated a little bit, so their talent rosters are a little shallow, just like SmackDown is. All right, going into our favorite male wrestlers of this year, there's quite a few that could have been in this place, but I'm going to go with Shinsuke Nakamura at number 2. Because again, like Asuka, he came from Japan, he came from New Japan, not very much a known entity amongst American wrestling fans, but he has gotten over so massively at this point. It's ridiculous. I remember leaving the NXT New Orleans show, and it was a house show. It wasn't anything filmed or anything. It was just a house show, and the crowd, like, chanting or singing his theme song on the way out. It was just the crowd reaction to him. An honorable mention to this list could be Bobby Roode in the amount of, like, just crowd reaction that he has gotten. But NXT's killing it, bringing in great talent. It's a great farm system that they have in place down in Florida. So much talent coming through, so much grade A talent. I just wish they got used better when they got brought up to the main roster. Number 1 on this list for Male Wrestler of the Year, in our opinion, here at the Breakdown Podcast, AJ Styles. AJ Styles came in this year. Months of rumors came in at the Royal Rumble, which is coming up, so there's no telling who can now make their debut at this year's Royal Rumble. We'll get into our predictions for that this coming week, so stay tuned for that video. But AJ Styles came in, and within 6 months, he had the world title. It was glorious, no pun intended, but the fact that AJ Styles, this journeyman wrestler, this man who put in work all over the world, came in, was accepted into the WWE, and is in the main event. He is a title holder. It sucks that they're going to make him drop that belt to Cena at either the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. But eventually, like, it makes me feel better that we have seen that they have acknowledged that AJ Styles and that style of wrestling and that style of wrestler can be up at the top, at the pinnacle of what they deem the WWE style. And now for my guilty pleasure moment, my favorite moment of the year, which Paul will probably disagree with me and kind of rub it in my face. But my favorite moment this year was at this past year's WrestleMania, and we saw the woo-woo-woo kid, Zack Ryder, win the Intercontinental Championship. I was so stoked. I won our predictions on that match because I said Zack Ryder was going to win the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. I was probably one of very few people that said that was actually going to happen. And when it happened, I marked the hell out. It was glorious. I loved it. It sucked that they made him lose it the next night on Raw for The Miz. In hindsight, it's probably a little bit better. The Miz has done wonders with that belt since the brand split. But I kind of hope that Zack Ryder's Intercontinental title reign would have been a little bit longer. So that is our thoughts on the best bits of the WWE this year, wrestler-wise. Go listen to episode 52 of the Breakdown Podcast. Get our full explanation, and we go into detail on this stuff. We put up a few episodes every week, at least at a minimum of an hour and a half worth of content for you to listen to a week. As much as maybe 3-4 hours of content for you to listen to every week. And we talk about wrestling, we talk about movies, we talk about TV, we talk about video games, we talk about everything. So until next time, I'm Wayne. This has been a Breakdown Podcast video. You can get it here on WGAS NOLA, coming to you live from the Emerald Highland Productions studios. So until next time, later.